to episode 5 of the Gladiator Fit Philosophies YouTube channel and podcast. Now, today's topic is one that I'm extremely excited to do. As you know, this is a podcast and a channel that's dedicated to showing athletes and fitness enthusiasts different types of exercises that can help you as an athlete, but also nutrition and cutting-edge research that can help any person regardless if you're an athlete or not. So today we're going to talk about 3 foods that help boost testosterone and kill estrogen, and these have all been empirically studied. But before I discuss those 3 foods, I do want to just do a little discussion on estrogen and testosterone as a little side note. So the CDC as well as other health bodies have researched testosterone levels on a global level of males, and they have been steadily declining this last half century, and it's a consistent decline across the whole world. And obviously it's more in certain areas and certain cities and things like that, but nonetheless, I'm sure you can think of a million reasons why. I mean, we're subject to a lot of pollutants, and industrialization has caused us to be in contact with a lot of microplastics, and you can already imagine the stress levels of people. And if you look at the United States, the average person eats eats garbage, eats processed food, and all of those things, on top of a lack of physical activity, can certainly increase one's estrogen and thus decrease one's testosterone. But we're really talking about hormones here. Androgens are your testosterone levels, and the aromatase enzyme is your estrogen levels. And you want to balance both to have great health, obviously. Ironically, the estrogen is obviously a female hormone, but men also do produce it, the aromatase enzyme. It does play some important roles in males as well, but it must be balanced, and I can't highlight that enough. Too much estrogen can create a host of issues that can greatly impact one's health, including unnecessary weight gain and something called gynecomastia, but that's a separate discussion. It's called man boobs. So the key is obviously controlling your androgen levels and keeping your aromatase enzyme, your estrogen levels, much lower, obviously. And testosterone itself has very important key roles in your system. It helps with muscle building, it helps with fat loss, it impacts your mood, and testosterone is also very critical for your energy for multiple different uses. So let's jump right into the 3 foods, and I hope you get a lot of value from this, because I feel like you could find these 3 foods in a lot of grocery stores. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the first one. The first one is liver. Liver contains large amounts of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2, and it has something in it called choline, which is essentially an estrogen methylator that prevents estrogen from binding. So eat liver regularly, and I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, it could be beef liver, it could be bison liver. Much of the American diet is devoid of organ meats. And let me remind you, organ meats are some of the most highly nutrient-dense foods that exist on the planet. There's really no mimicking, the amount of nutrition and vitamins and minerals compacted into the liver, and frankly, organs of animals, but I'm just talking about liver right now. So number 2 is citrus fruits. Citrus fruits help lower estrogen, and they are high in fructose, the natural fructose, the fruit sugar from the fruit, which boosts thyroid and metabolic rate and function. Citrus fruits also have something called quercetin, which has been known to block the aromatase enzyme. And let me remind you, citrus all have high amounts of vitamin C, which help boost antioxidants and improve your recovery time from your workouts. Now, vitamin C also helps with clearer skin. It helps with scars and pigmentation, and if you're someone who exercises intensely and regularly, you're going to have more oxidative stress, so you're going to need more vitamin C than the average person. I really get annoyed with some of these people that tell you that, oh yeah, if you get more than 100 milligrams of vitamin C, you're just going to end up peeing it out. And it's like, there's just so many things wrong with those kind of blanket statements, because every person requires a different amount, and frankly, vitamin C has a very high toxicity level, so you can consume large amounts of vitamin C and it'll be extremely fine. I'm not telling you to guzzle thousands of milligrams, but what I'm trying to say is that from eating it, it's almost impossible to reach toxicity, and even if you take vitamins, it's water soluble. So just a little side note. Number 3, white button mushrooms. So white button mushrooms have actively been shown in research to control the aromatase, obviously the estrogen levels. So throw them in your food and enjoy the benefits, frankly. And if you add foods like these, it'll help lower estrogen and boost testosterone. But it's also something that's versatile. You could add it to some steak and cook it with some chicken, but it's something that's not very expensive as well. And I want to remind you, these are just a few foods that do this, but your overall activity and your sleep patterns and the type of workouts you do and all of those things will have an impact on your testosterone. So for today's discussion, I hope you got value from that. I'm going to do different videos on hormones and androgens and different facets, involving that. So I hope you liked it, and if you did get some value, leave a comment and tell me if you're surprised by anything. But either way, much love and blessings.